At least 39 people are killed and dozens injured in a shooting rampage at a nightclub in Istanbul during New Year celebrations. The gunman, who was wearing a Father Christmas outfit, is reportedly still being hunted by police.
There are people on top of me. I pushed them off. All around me, everyone was crying. There was a smell of gunpowder.
The attack in Istanbul came just hours after the UN Security Council unanimously approved a resolution drafted by Russia and Turkey endorsing a nationwide ceasefire in Syria. And in the week's top stories, the Obama administration slaps new sanctions on Russia over its alleged meddling in the US election, with Moscow unexpectedly refraining from any tit-for-tat measures. Hello, welcome. You're watching RT International this New Year's Day. Now we'll start with news from Turkey because a gunman has killed at least 39 people and injured dozens more at a nightclub in central Istanbul during New Year celebrations. There were at least 16 foreigners among the victims and a manhunt is still ongoing. Some of the survivors spoke to reporters and described what they'd seen.
My husband was shielding me. There was gunfire. The special forces arrived and helped us out. My husband was shot in 3 places. There were people on top of me. I pushed them off. All around me, everyone was crying. There was a smell of gunpowder.
Well, the governor of the Istanbul province has described the shooting as an act of terrorism, and President Tayyip Erdogan has said he is deeply saddened by the news, although no terrorist group has so far claimed responsibility. Eyewitnesses, as you heard there, described scenes of chaos with crowds of people scrambling over bodies to reach safety and also jumping into the Bosphorus Strait too to escape the gunshots. Well, this video, captured by a security camera at around 1:45 a.m, is believed to show the assailant outside the nightclub shooting at police. A second video shot inside the club shows the gunman wearing what appears to be a Father Christmas costume. It is believed that 700 people were inside that nightclub when the shooting started. The venue is located on the European shore of the Bosphorus Strait in central Istanbul. We spoke to Robert English. He's the director of the School of International Relations at Southern California University, about the level of security in Istanbul.
In all likelihood, there could have been greater security. There are always small lapses, and around holiday time, perhaps even more so, with the extra crowds and confusion. But like the attack on the market in Germany, like the Bataclan, the nightclub attack in Paris just over 1 year ago, with any kind of large cosmopolitan society and lots of foreign visitors, sure, complete security will always be impossible.
The Rana nightclub is based in an upmarket district of Istanbul, and it can host up to 800 people and is popular with both tourists and locals. And it's also often used by diplomats and business people for social functions. Turkey has seen a number of bombings over the last 18 months or so in Kurdish areas of the southeast and also in Istanbul and Ankara. Well, last night's attack in Turkey did happen just a few hours after the UN Security Council unanimously backed the Syrian ceasefire drafted by Turkey and Russia. A retired US Air Force Lieutenant Colonel thinks that the Istanbul attack could be an act of revenge for Turkey's anti-ISIL operations in both Syria and also Iraq.
As the rest of the world looks at what is happening in Syria and pretty much agrees that the crushing of ISIS, which has happened under Russian leadership and with the help of the Turks as well, that this is the right thing for Syria, and to fight back, it really makes sense that this would be in response to that, as well as what is happening very, very slowly, but what is happening over in Mosul. Also against ISIS. So you've got in many of these places where formerly ISIS was in control, now they're under siege. We know that they have said globally that we would see ISIS attacks, and I think this is part of that. It may be a sign that, a sad sign, an awful sign, but a sign that the war against ISIS is actually being won now.
And we will be looking at the details of that ceasefire brokered last week in more detail in a few minutes' time.